welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Channels Television celebrating 21 years of professional broadcasting. This is the news at 10, and here's a reminder of our major stories tonight. National Human Rights Commission indicts 118 persons, including some former governors, for violence and electoral malpractices during the 2007 and 2011 general elections. President Buhari applauds his administration's commitment to accountability and transparency, says efforts are yielding desired results. Federal government confirms foreign portfolio investment and foreign direct investment into Nigeria's economy crash by 86% and 56% respectively. And United Nations investigates evidence of toxic gas attack on a rebel-held area of the Syrian city of Aleppo. Just to quickly remind you that all our top stories are on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. And do visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Besides the news and updates, the Channels TV app has an eyewitness feature. We encourage you to use it to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the eyewitness menu and follow the instructions. We do have some photos, and let's share them with you. We can begin with this one sent in from Benue State. It shows a vehicle in a boat being transported across the river. Our eyewitness reporter calls on state authorities to build a bridge to resolve the challenges faced by residents in the area. Our next photo shows security operatives accosting a commercial bus driver who has violated traffic regulations. Our eyewitness reporter commends the security operatives for enforcing the rule of law. We see a commercial bus travelling along the Enugu-Onitsha highway, and our eyewitness reporter here calls on federal authorities to fix it. And here's one showing an overloaded truck moving along Kubwa Expressway in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. Our eyewitness reporter calls on relevant agencies to stop this rising trend. Let's end with this photo sent in from Old Kano Road in Bauchi State. It shows a flooded road, and our eyewitness reporter calls on state authorities to remain vigilant and avoid casualties if the situation gets any worse. Thanks a lot for sending in all your pictures. We ask you to keep them coming. We're going to continue our discussion on the economy as it concerns the roadmap for the private sector. Joining me now on the news at 10 is the Director General of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Muda Yusuf. Thanks a lot for joining us on the news at 10.
Thank you very much.
I can see you're smiling broadly today, because the last time you were unhappy about the level of dialogue you saw in terms of policy direction. Yeah. You had that forum today. So what do you think?
Yeah, it's great. It's a great development, and the trend is also something that we welcome. Because for quite a while, particularly in the early months of this administration, there was no sufficient consultation. There was no sufficient communication between business and government. And if you're looking for quality economic policy, two things are key. First, there has to be a sound theoretical foundation for the policy. Secondly, there has to be a sound empirical basis for the policy. The theoretical foundation, consultants can give you that, economists can give you, professionals can give you. But the empirical basis, you can only generate from the practitioners. It is the practitioners that can guide policy, that can shape policy, to make sure that the policy fits the problem. So for a good policy, there has to be a blend between the theoretical content and the empirical content. And that is the value of consultation. So the disposition of the administration has now changed and is improving. And hopefully, I'm sure that will translate into better policies and policies that are more sustainable. It's very critical.
Were you as optimistic with the statistics that the Vice President read out? I mean, he talked about the FDI, the FPI. What do you make of what's happening right now?
No, you see, the consequences of that What led to that was the challenge of liquidity that we had in the foreign exchange market. The issue we had over the last maybe 9 months, which led to the collapse of liquidity in the foreign exchange market. And it seriously affected investors' confidence because there were massive defaults internationally and all the credit lines dried up and all of that. So it sent a very bad signal. But the good news is that we now have better policy framework. The foreign exchange market is now market-driven, and the CBN is also committed to clearing the backlog. And I imagine that by the time that is done, by the time we are through with that, confidence will begin to return. All right. You know, one thing about confidence is that it is easy to destroy, but difficult to rebuild. But as we progress along the new policy regime, I'm optimistic that things will get better.
All right, DG of the LCCI, Mr. Muda Yusuf,
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing your thoughts on the news at 10 tonight.
Thank you very much, yeah.
Let's cross over to Abuja now and check in with Gloria Umezuoke. Hey, Gloria.
Hello, Joma, good to see you, and welcome to Abuja, the nation's capital. The Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, says an emergency team has been constituted to check the reported outbreak of polio in 2 local government areas of Borno State. According to Professor Adewale, children in the affected local government areas will be given 3 rounds of immunization to contain the situation. He added that the international organizations have also expressed a willingness to support efforts to check the spread of polio to other parts of the state. The 2 polio cases were reported in Jere and Gwoza local government areas of Borno State. Well, this means that Nigeria's race to becoming polio-free has been slowed down. In July, Nigeria marked 2 years without a wild polio virus case. The federal government has announced plans to accelerate its contraceptive prevalence rate to 36% by 2018. The Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, says this will help control the imminent population explosion and also improve the quality of life for women and children. Professor Adewale made this known while speaking at an event on family planning in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory.
Improving the quality of life for women of childbearing age and that of their children is what informed this gathering organized by the United Nations Population Fund. Statistics from the United Nations Children Education Fund shows that 2,300 under 5-year-olds and 145 women die daily. This tragic history, according to experts, can be reversed when women have access to the use of contraceptives and space their children.
The Federal Ministry of Health domesticated these commitments by identifying key strategic steps to ensuring increased uptake in Nigeria. And these include support advocacy, strengthening accountability, improving supply chains, increasing contraceptive supply, and promoting best practices and supporting new innovations. In 2014, Nigeria took a decisive step and developed a blueprint for family planning. The blueprint outlines strategies for reducing barriers to the uptake of family planning commodities. For instance, it recommended that as a demand creation activity, the family life and child education curriculum be fully integrated into school health programs.
While a major challenge to effective family planning by most women is said to be socio-cultural, the Executive Director of the United Nations Population Fund is of the opinion that advocacy to women who are yet to key into the use of contraceptives is necessary.
Let's work with governments. Let's make sure that the resources we bring to the table speak to government and let government determine where those resources will go.
Traditional rulers lent their support to government.
Assure all of you of our total commitment, not only to child, mother, survival, but all health issues.
For me and my entire kingdom, I have dedicated the throne to healthcare delivery, and we have already set up a foundation that is called House of Oduduwa Foundation that is driving that initiative we have a lot of mothers and children that we're taking care of on a daily basis.
Nigeria currently has a contraceptive prevalence rate of 15.1%, but hopes to upscale it to 30% by 2018. It is hoped that with the support of key players, this target will be met.
Joining me now on the News at 10 to expatiate more on this is the Executive Director of the United Nations Population Fund, Professor Babatunde Oshotime. Thank you for joining us on the News at 10.
Thank you for having me.
But now Nigeria is planning to increase the prevalence of contraceptive use to about 36%. And there's still the issue of access to basic health care, especially in the rural areas. What is the Nigerian government, what do you think we should do about this?
I don't think we can separate access to basic health care from the access to family planning. How? It's integral. Family planning has to be part of the basic package that we provide to women and girls as part of health. And I'm glad that the Federal Minister of Health is pushing aggressively the primary health care program, in which you take care to the community themselves and they can access care within a short distance from home. That, I think, is going to be the key to ensuring that every woman and every girl who wants family planning can get it. Now, of course, in that sense, we need to then build a robust supply chain system, not just for family planning, but for the entire healthcare system. So the primary healthcare centers must get everything they want when they want it, and so we don't have stockouts. We at UNFPA were committed to working with government to ensuring that we build not just the commodity security, but also help them build the capacity of people to be able to deliver service where it's needed.
Okay, so how important is the use of contraceptives, and really how can the government make this available in the face of a recession?
Well, you see, I want us to make this clear. Family planning is health. Family planning is empowerment of women. Family planning is required not as an add-on, but as part of service. So, recession or not, government must provide resources to make sure that that works. Pregnancy doesn't wait for recession. Pregnancy doesn't stop because of recession. These are things which women must be able to be in control of, to be able to say, you know what, I want a child now. No, I don't want a child now. And in that sense, it's something which they have to empower them to do.
Very well. Professor Babatunde Oshotime, thank you for joining us on the News at 10.
Thank you very much.
Still ahead on the News at 10, House Committee on Banking and Currency urges CBN to ensure safety of deposits in banks. That's in business news. Let's join us again.